And we are live.
Phew, we made it. Day after inauguration. Woohoo!
January 21st. Who thought we would get here?
Oh, thank God we did. And hi, everyone. I'm Sharon Gelfand, along with my co-host, Robin Joy Meyers. Welcome to another episode of Lunch and Life. Very excited. It was some day yesterday.
It was a great day yesterday, really. A lot to unpack, right?
Yeah, for sure. You know, we were talking before we went live about our poet laureate, Amanda Gorman, and how powerful she was with her words.
Mm-hmm.
Really just so beautiful. And I know, Robin, you said that you had copied the last 3 lines of her poem, because I just felt like there was just so much that was so beautifully said, but her last 3 lines I thought were just that epitome of the day, the year, our lives. And
Yeah.
do you have that up that you could share it?
I do. She said that, I quote, "There is always light. If only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it."
I have goosebumps just listening to you say those words again, because everything that you and I talk about, even the why, right, in the joy today of you, is being that light.
Mm-hmm.
It's creating that space and realizing we have this. We have it within us.
We do. And, you know, we've also talked about how words matter, right? And, you know, individually and community. And to see this young woman get up and just to watch her magically use her hands and her body, her face, her eyes. I mean, everything just lit up. But there's a lightness that she brought just watching it. I mean, I have to be honest. I actually cried when I watched the swearing in of Kamala Harris. And then, of course, but I mean, I just, you know, I'm a sap on all of that stuff. But just her words and just the lightness. And it doesn't matter where you sit politically. It's just, there's a lightness that when you talk to people today that they're carrying, and how powerful words are. Powerful her words were, what words we tell ourselves. You know, when we tell ourselves we matter and we tell ourselves that we've got this, we do have the power to change our mindset. We do have the power to say, all right, I got it. We might have setbacks, but we have it. We have the power within us.
Absolutely. And it's not a coincidence that the why of the joy that we've been discussing all month really coincides perfectly.
I know, we couldn't plan this any better.
We didn't, right? We didn't. And even if we had thought, okay, yeah, we'll do the why the day after the inauguration, we still would never have known what Amanda was going to share with us, with the world on you know, yesterday. And then I agree with you, like the way that she used her hands and the way she gestured and her being, her strength, just in her posture.
Mm-hmm.
Just it emanated, like you could feel that energy field just like expanding outwards.
Yeah.
And I think, again, that's just another thing that brings us back to the why. You, me, all of you, our audience, and the power that we have that we forget because we're so disconnected.
Yeah, perfect. And that's what we really...
episode's over.
Yeah. Okay, we're done. That was a great show. Thank you all for joining us. We did that in under 4 minutes.
Less than 5 minutes.
But it does come down to you. It really is about you, meaning you, audience, us, all of that, you know, every pronoun that comes along with that. So, you know, I challenge everyone to think, especially after hearing yesterday, right? And if you haven't heard it, if you weren't able to sit and really watch it, it's posted everywhere. So go watch it, because it really is an amazing, amazing thing to watch and have. If you got little kids, young, old, whatever, everyone should watch this young woman, because the slightest movement with her hands were just so powerful. Like she was like raise up or like fly. I mean, I don't know. I can't even get in the frame of the picture. Up, down, whatever. Anyways, I think Sharon just froze, but oh, she's back.
I thought you froze.
Oh. No, you first. But it does come down to thinking about this pivotal moment. Yesterday was a pivotal moment in history. This pivotal moment. So if you were going to start today, if everything just flopped, right? You want to say that between the pandemic and everything was just, today's your day to start over with you. Sharon, I'm going to throw this at you because I can. What would you do? What would you do? Like you
So
get to start all over,
start all over in terms of like just in general, is there something specific? Because I could
Well,
answer this so many ways.
well, I think almost like what would be the one thing, let's do this. What would be like the one thing maybe on the personal habit side and then even on the business side as an entrepreneur? Like what would be the one nugget on both sides that if someone was starting their business over again or they had to reframe their business or start a new business? And then personally, what would be that new habit that you would want to start if today was the day?
So those are great questions, and thank you for putting me on the spot this time. But that's what I love about this, right? And I think it's really important, especially with business, because when we're in it, like when my head is just so to the stone and just like trying to grind everything out, it's hard for me to see the big picture. And it's like I'm in this eye of the hurricane, and all I see is the wind around me, and it's that like suffocating feeling sometimes of, oh no, what do I do? So for someone who's starting a business, or if I were to start a new business, it's really about that pause of, again, even with what you say of how do you start your day, what's my intention and what's my big picture? What do I want this to be? Writing it down. Like my thing is sunbursts. I've always drawn sunbursts where I have in the circle, what my big vision is of what I want the most. And then I have all these rays around it. And I write down everything that I could do to help me achieve that vision. And I revisit it. And if there's one thing that I would do with my business is go back. And January is a great month to do that. So it's a reminder for me to do that and look at it again and see what's changed, what I can focus on, what I should let go of. Like I belong to different networking groups and realizing I have grown out of one and it's time to move on.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to do that and then having a vision board for me, because I'm such a visual person, gives me something that I can start over and do right now, literally today, for my business.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Personally, and I think I do this almost every day. Because you hit the reset buttons. For me, I wake up and I started this 21-day meditation with, I was just telling you about before we went live. A friend of mine is a coach and she's doing one of Deepak Chopra's 21-day meditation on WhatsApp. And it's been amazing every single morning to remind myself, here's what I needed to do over. I needed to, for me, get back to doing that 10-minute meditation in the morning to ground myself for the day. And so thinking about for everybody, what's that one thing I can start over? It's reflecting on what have I let go of. It might not have served me, or maybe I forgot because I've moved on to something, and maybe it's time to revisit. And it's been a gift to have that and to start over with that, especially in January, to realize, wow, I've got the whole year ahead of me.
That's awesome. We are so connected. It's so funny you said that about meditation, because I kind of, as great as I am about telling people about morning routines, sometimes I mess my own up. I got a little bit away from meditation, and I would say last week I got stricter with myself about, and it's not taking the time. It's just, I just didn't do it. I don't know why, but I've really built it back in, and I feel so much better. I just feel so much better, and I just, as you said, you forget, and so I've added another 5 minutes into my day, but it's worth it. And I've noticed, and I encourage people to do this. So if your day starts 5 minutes later or 10 minutes later, like, it is okay. It is okay to play by your rules. Sometimes you listen to groups, or you're in a networking group, or you're on a call and a mastermind, and they're great. It's great to always, be with people that you're working with, and up level to, and listen to people that are ahead of you and help people behind you and all that sort of stuff. But sometimes you feel like you're on that run, like, I should be there. And you have to kind of remember who you are and where you are and what your mission is. But you have to quiet that noise and remember, like, you're enough and you're doing what you're doing, and remember where you want to go, because it doesn't have to be exactly what someone else is doing and the way they're doing it.
Absolutely. And it's interesting for me having moments where, and I know you go through this too, where we're in the business because we're launching something, or, something big is going on that we have to focus on. And that's it. Like, the blinders go on because we're so focused on the task at hand. And so when you get into that groove regularly, it is easy to forget about these other components.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to reset,
right,
as regularly as is possible for you.
Right.
Because it's different for everybody, just like food and what we eat is for everybody in our bodies. And it's not a one size fits all. So, but and I talk meditation, there might be people who are watching this who are like, yeah, I don't want to do meditation. And that's okay. Even if you just start your morning with breathing and connecting, it's you time. You are what's going to hold your day and everybody else's day together that comes into contact with you. So what can you do
to
be
you?
present? Yeah, and be present.
Because you do show up better than for everyone else. I was one of those people initially. I couldn't sit and meditate, no matter if it was a minute, 3 minutes, 10 minutes. I would be in that retreat or class, and I kind of keep one eye open, kind of watching. I just couldn't get myself to relax. But it was me. It was just me. And it wasn't until I started to really kind of take that journey and understand me. And I love it now. Now it's like I could be in the middle of, well, nobody's outside anymore, but I could be in the middle of a street and do it myself. But it's worth the try. Let me just say that. It's worth the try.
It is, absolutely. And there are times where things will flow, and then there are times where they won't.
Right.
And that's okay. It's okay, And so the whole part of you is not beating yourself up, right? And allowing whatever's happening to feel it. I was talking to a friend this morning who's lost quite a few people close to her, not all from COVID. And she's just going through a really hard time, and she's very spiritual. She's a coach also, very spiritual, very grounded, Reiki master, like really has the tools. And she's been very teary-eyed and crying and feeling like out of control. And as we were talking, it was allowing for all that sorrow and all that pain to flow through, because sometimes you can't just flip that switch and have an affirmation or think of something positive and be grateful. Yes, that's, we want that, but it's also honoring that when you're in that pain or in that moment, to not beat yourself up and to have compassion for yourself, because you need to go through certain paths to come out on the other side stronger and more resilient.
Absolutely.
So that you can show up better. And there's a reason.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You have to allow yourself to go through that journey, and you have to understand it and recognize it, and not just think, I'm not going to deal with it, because at some point you will deal with it. You have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's powerful. And being able to be there for someone else, as well as honoring your space, is so important. So here we are in this month of January, having gone through Joy, just own you. And what a wonderful way to start this whole year of tuning in. So like if you've missed the other 2 weeks where we've covered the J and the O, I highly recommend going back and jotting down the things that resonated with you, whether it's a word or a phrase or the action steps that we've shared, and use that as part of your foundation to set yourself up for success personally and professionally for the rest of the year.
I agree. That's a great thing to say. So think about, how you're going to reset starting today.
I was actually thinking, well, maybe we should wrap up soon, but then I realized I didn't ask you the same
Sharon.
question. Sharon, this wasn't supposed to be about me today.
It wasn't about me today. It was all about you today. Oh, she does
Just
this.
quickly, just pick one thing.
Well, I would say the meditation has come back into play for me. I will say that, like my personal morning routine. And I think for me, my business side, I think I've reset as to clearing out, getting very specific in my message, and clearing out things that I just haven't felt like there's a place for it. Like I was doing a newsletter, and you haven't seen a newsletter because I've been writing it, yet I haven't been posting it. So I've decided I'm not going to be doing a newsletter. I'm going to work on posting more because I don't feel like newsletters are serving me right now. I'd rather get an article out. So, when you think like you should be doing it because everybody's doing it, well, there's my thing, people. I'm not writing a newsletter right now.
I love you just said something that's so spot on. It's actually going to be a great way to kind of wrap this week up, and also share what we want to do next week with everybody, is doing something just because other people are doing it.
Yeah.
Right. Even social media, you have to be on Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest and TikTok and all these platforms, and Clubhouse. No, you don't.
Right. You do you.
You do you. You decide what resonates, what really excites me, and what feels that I'm just dragging my feet and I'm dreading it. Those are your signs. Those are your signals of what directing you where you should go. So honor that and let it flow.
And a newsletter, I was dragging my feet. So I'm not writing a newsletter now.
So we're really excited. Next week, we're going to wrap up the month with a cooking class. We're going to do lunch and life over lunch. So Robin, what did we say we're going to be serving next week?
So we are going to serve nourish bowls. We are going to roast some vegetables and make some rice of some sort and tahini. You'll see. We're going to serve up nourish bowls for lunch.
Yes, so definitely join us. We'll give you the recipe, or actually you'll follow along with us, and we're both going to be cooking in the kitchen and sharing with you and unpacking lunch and life next week. And
absolutely,
as always, I love doing this with you, Robin. Loving unpacking lunch and life. Inauguration week.
I love it too. So see you in the kitchen next week, and hope you will all join us there. So please follow us and like and subscribe, and join us next week in the kitchen.
Yes, and make sure you hit the notifications so that you remember when we're going live, and share this with people. You have questions, comment below. We would love to engage with you. So have a great day, everyone.
Take care.